In my last E55 AMG Wagon video, we restored some of the mechanical aspects of this vehicle by replacing things like the air suspension. We replaced the brakes on the car, the upper ball joints were worn out, and the suspension bushings looked horrible. And I replaced them with this really cool tool. So that video will be linked down below. But now, of course, it is time for a cosmetic restoration. A little minor cosmetic restoration, maybe a couple mods here and there, but I'm not going nuts. I'm not gonna like disassemble the entire car and like strip it and send it out for paint or anything. That would be nuts. It's a 15-year-old station wagon. And yes, it has some rock chips and some scratches here and there, but I'm totally okay with that. I'm trying to kind of practice some car self-control lately. So I'm just gonna do some minor stuff and we're gonna live with the rest and it's gonna be totally, totally fine. No, it's not. Now, I realize on my channel, I do a lot of work that maybe the average Joe would not want to do. Owning an old car requires a ton of work and they constantly break. Maybe you just want a car that's much newer. And in that case, you would just say, screw it, and get yourself one of these, a 2020 E63S station wagon. This is well over $100,000. 3.40 to 60 with a hand-built twin-turbo 4-liter engine. You're not gonna have any problems with this bad boy because it's under warranty, which is fantastic, and I absolutely love this color. And check out the interior, guys. It is just slightly updated from what my E55 looks like. Absolutely amazing. And you wanna know the best part is? Omaze is offering you the opportunity to win a 2020 E63S wagon plus 20 grand in the trunk, and shipping and taxes are included. All you have to do to enter for your chance to win is go to omaze.com/legit or click on the link down below. Once you're there, you'll be given the opportunity to donate to the International Medical Corps, who are providing supplies to the front line of COVID-19. So go to omaze.com/legit, enter for your chance to win the car, donate to a good cause if you'd like, and good luck. All right, so the first part of this madness is removing the front bumper. And I'm a little bit nervous about this, not because it's hard to remove the front bumper, but because we have this, a factory heat exchanger, and I have a receipt from a few years back where a larger aftermarket heat exchanger was installed, and then after that I have a receipt for them replacing the front bumper. So it was involved in some kind of accident, I guess, and I'm hoping I don't find any surprises underneath the bumper. The body line's not the best here. So anyway, there's only one way to find out, and that is ripping and tearing. So let's get this bumper out of here. With the wheels off, we have to remove both inner fender liners to gain access to the inside of the bumper. And that is just 3 or 4 nuts. Then you simply just pull this big plastic fender liner out, just like so, and she's gone. Number 2, I might have figured out why this bumper was sagging a little bit. See this piece right here? It's supposed to have a screw right here that's missing. Then once you take that screw out, you simply pry this piece out like so. And it comes out like that. There's one on the other side, and that one's also missing the screw. Alrighty then. We're opening the hood. Some kind of weird Irish accent, I guess, today. And we're looking for some bolts. So we have some 8mm right over here, some 10mm over here. We're gonna take a bunch of bolts out, and this should come right out. What did we do before power tools? That's okay, we can fix that. Now, technically, there are 2 more bolts that you get from the bottom, but pretty much no one ever puts those back in. And judging by how loose this was when I undid those bolts, I don't think they put those back in either. And I think this will come right off. Let's separate it from the fender, get a good grip. Yep, they did not put those bolts in. Oh, and make sure that your temperature sensor and all your lights are disconnected. And here is our old bumper cover. And the verdict is my E55 wagon was completely destroyed in a major front end collision and is worth absolutely nothing. Just kidding. It's totally fine. And the way I can tell that is primarily by looking at the frame rail extension and the frame itself and the bolts. So these bolts don't look to have ever been turned. These are the original style Mercedes-Benz rivets. And then on the actual frame, all of the seam sealer looks to be totally original and dirty, which is exactly what you want to see. And then a good tip for inspecting an area of a vehicle for a major accident is looking at date codes. So we can see this fan, March 2005. This is an 05. There's a few other stickers on various components on the vehicle in the very front that have those original date sticker codes. So that's a good sign as well. So I think this was an honest minor accident where he damaged the front bumper, probably damaged the oil cooler, and the heat exchanger didn't care about performance, I guess, and went back to the stock heat exchanger. So let's move on to this corner of the garage. You guys may be wondering what all this stuff is. And yes, this is the updated E63 front bumper. And these are E63 side skirts, which I didn't even realize were any different than the E55 side skirts, but mine are damaged, which I'll show you here in a minute. But this is the same front E63 bumper that I put on my other E55. It's from a guy named Gary Lowe. This is a Sunveer bumper. This is probably the one you guys have seen listed online for roughly about 500 bucks for the whole kit, and it's an awesome deal. They fit really well, and I'm really happy with it on my other E55. So you get the grille, the fog lights, all this miscellaneous bracketry stuff, and of course the front bumper. So definitely check out that link down below, and I'll leave linked the headlight covers that I purchased. These are the factory headlight covers because we're gonna be disassembling my headlights for a little bit of custom modification. So up next, we have to remove this damaged fender. Not exactly sure what happened, doesn't matter, it needs to come off. And for that, we need to remove our cracked and damaged side skirts. Removing the side skirts requires the back front fender liner to be removed. Wait, the front rear fender liner. Wait, you know what I mean. Take some clips off, there's a few more 10 mils, and it comes right out. And this is what we're left with. About 3,000 of these really weird plastic T25s. They go all the way down, and they're weird because they just keep on spinning. So we're gonna have to get some kind of screwdriver in there to bring them down. I'm not really sure, I've never done this before, but we're gonna find out together, forever. Not the forever part, that's weird, but just together, we're gonna figure this out. You know, me and you. All right, we're spinning. Okay, cool. Now let's get this under here. Whoa, hey, we got it out, not bad. I had to remove 4 more panels. They're just held in by a bunch of 10mm nuts, and that's because the side skirt has a lip that goes underneath those. So I believe at this point, with the doors open, all we have to do is pull. I think they're clips. Oh, on the inside. That is a little frightening, but let's keep on going. All right, sounds good. I'm sure we're not breaking any of these clips. They're gonna be fine. Oh yeah. All right. Is she free? Please be free. Ooh, she's free. Just slides right out. Nice. All right, that wasn't bad at all. Now, let's see if these are any different than the E63 side skirts because they sort of look the same. At first glance, they look the same, but there is a subtle difference here, and that is we have another hump. So we have this guy here, and then another one. This one only has this one. So maybe just a little bit more of an aggressive look on these side skirts. I think that's about it. If you guys have had an E63 and an E55 or the 2 cars next to each other, let me know if you really noticed anything major. I don't think this is gonna make too big of a difference in the look, but we have the new ones. They're not cracked. We're gonna send everything out for paint at the same time, and I actually don't think I broke all of these clips, which is a good thing. But you can tell right here why we needed to take the side skirt off anyway, and that's because the fender is bolted in right here and a bunch on top. And of course we have the fender liner out as well. So this should come off really, really easily. All right, so I want everything to go back together as nice and factory-like as possible. So I'm gonna be using a little paint pen around nuts and bolts. That way I know it lines up perfectly, and this will come off with a little paint thinner once it all goes back together. While the white paint was drying, it was time to remove the rear bumper, so the inner quarter liner had to be removed on both sides to gain access to a bolt. There's one on the other side as well. but I'm only probably just gonna show you one side because it would be really redundant and kind of a big waste of time. Then there are a couple bolts from the bottom. Then there are two easy ones from inside, but I'm gonna choose to forget to remove one of them, you'll see. Then remove the gigantic Harman Kardon subwoofer that actually sounds really good, and then an air reservoir, and you'll find a bolt here, and you know, one on the other side. All right, then, in theory, you should be able to pull this bumper off. In theory. Let's see. Okay. Then, in theory, you forget there's one more nut. And then you try to tighten it, and then you loosen it up. And now, in theory, it should come off any day now. Please don't fight me anymore. I am making a video. Okay guys, so there is this little clip that gets stuck. You just gotta pry around it. Okay, then the rear bumper just comes off real nice and easy. It's really nothing that ever goes wrong. Now it'll just come right off with no issues except some wiring. There's some wiring here that I disconnected, but it has clips. Everything always just comes right apart, guys. There's never any issues when you're a professional like me. Come on, all right. Don't make me break. Oh, Jesus, one of them zip tied. And I don't have any cutters. Okay, that's not proper. It's gonna be okay. It's just a zip tie. Aha! The rear bumper. She's off. Oh, Jesus, come on, wiring harness. It's getting caught on everything. Did you seriously just get hooked? Okay, and just like that, the rear bumper, easy. Just comes right off. Let me show you guys how I'm marking the hood and the fenders so that this all lines back up nicely and still looks factory. I'm using my white paint pen on the bolts on the hood there, and then on the latch, or the hinges, I mean, on the inside of the hood, we're marking that with white paint as well. I've marked all of these fender bolts, and then probably more important is I've put little lines here where they line up. And this stuff comes right off, guys. I can use a plastic wedge and it'll basically just chip this paint off. It's nothing permanent. But I have these lines pretty much all over the place. And something I am going to concentrate on is turning these fender bolts gently. So I'm not going to use the impact gun or anything like that, because that's how you chip up the paint on these bolts. And that's something I look at when I'm inspecting a used car. One of the first things I look at is to see if all these bolts are missing all the paint. Then you know basically everything's been taken apart in that area. Not necessarily for a bad reason. Maybe they're just getting rock chips touched up, but you know, it's just something to think about. So I want to avoid that, make this car look factory again. So we're going to be gentle with the bolts. Gentle, gentle. All right. You know what? You don't even save that much time using the gun on these. They come right out, but take a look. This looks pretty good. We haven't destroyed the paint really anywhere. I think once I clean these up, they'll still look pretty factory. And yes, I am on my last purple glove and my last orange glove. So after these two, I got no more gloves. Wow, look at how much manipulation there is of this fender. If you don't mark this, you can definitely mess up the alignment. So you just hold it exactly where it needs to be. Honestly, you don't even need the line on the flat part of the fender. Just drawing the circle around the bolt does the trick, and then you can just tighten it up, whatever, use your tool, hold it right there, and you're perfect. You're back to factory. All the fender bolts are out except for that one right there, which you can definitely get to with the hood on with a swivel or a wobble extension, but I'm taking the hood off anyway, so I figure why not get the hood off first, and then we'll knock out the fender. So I've disconnected our washer nozzle hoses and electrical connectors, and it has dawned on me that this is gonna totally suck. Normally, removing and putting on a hood is a two-person job, but I'm social distancing, so it's just me out here, and yeah, this is gonna be fun, so enjoy. Okay, so the game plan is to loosen up and remove 4 out of 6 of these bolts. I'm being very gentle. See, it moved. That's scary. I'm gonna leave these top ones in there. We're gonna disconnect the hood shocks, and then I have a good old Louisville Slugger bat that's gonna hold the hood. And let's just hope it rests on the bat and the hinges. And these aren't all scratched up, so they're gonna look factory. No one's ever gonna know I touched this, except for all of you people that watch the video. one. There we go. Now, we put the bat back. We're good. One last bolt, and the hinges and the bat are gonna be holding this thing. Ooh, it's really light. Okay, that's a good sign. Stay, stay, stay. Oh, Jesus, it's not staying, it's falling. Okay, I was gonna move the camera and maybe give you guys a better look, but that is not gonna happen. Can I use my head? I don't know why I'm being so careful. I am getting the fenders repainted. Oh, there we go. All right, let's get a good grip. Yeah, hood's off. Woo! All right, I better not see anybody out there ever put a carbon fiber hood on a 211. This thing weighs practically nothing. I've seen carbon fiber hoods on C63s and a bunch of other cars too, and I would venture to say the weight savings is very minimal. Definitely nothing anybody would ever notice at all. But super light, our hood is off, and look at all of these rock chips. So these are all gonna get perfected. They are gonna strip the whole hood down, repaint the entire thing. And this is not the obsidian black with the little sparkles, metallic flake like my other E55. This is just the regular black, and it's very easy to match. So obviously all these panels will get painted side by side right next to each other, and we won't have to worry about blending into the doors because obviously there's a nice break here. We didn't even blend into the doors when the E55 sedan bumper with the obsidian black paint got damaged, and it looks perfect. So the guys at Mancuso's are definitely miracle workers. Lupe, who's probably gonna be painting this, has 35 years of painting experience, but take a look at this. There are little chips everywhere on this car, but luckily nothing really on the doors, the quarters. There's a little something on the roof. I'll show you when we do the paint correction, but anyway, we're getting there. Let's rip these fenders off. I couldn't open the door enough to get to the last bolt that's actually kind of deep down there. So this fender now should come right off, I think. Okay, that's a good sign. And there she is. Cool. Fender's off. I'll get the other one off. And let's pull this thing outside and take a look. Step one of the E55 wagon restoration is complete, and just take a look at this thing. Shout out to my buddy Matt from Warped Perception. He has a W211, a 2003 E320. It's the see-through car on YouTube, and he's done everything I've done, but he's removed the doors, cut off the quarter panels. It's completely nuts. And we actually raced when I had my C43, and he won in an E320. It was horrible. But yeah, look at this thing. I think I should test this thing 0 to 60. We did 3.8 seconds a couple of episodes ago, and although it is less aerodynamic now, it is lighter. So I wonder, can we hit 3.6 or will it go slower? Comment down below if you guys want to see me do that. But we can see this thing in the flesh and take a look at what builds up, stuff you'll never see if you don't disassemble your car. We have rocks and everything from 146,000 miles of driving. Now, something you guys may have noticed is that I do have the updated mirrors for the wagon as well, and you can get a really good look at the difference. So these are the 2007 to 2009 211 mirrors. These are obviously the originals. I like these. They're not bad, but I pretty much like everything from the refresh in 07. That is why I'm going with the E63 front bumper again on the wagon, and I am going to duplicate these headlights. So I'll be making a video for you guys on exactly how to replace these lenses and paint everything black, clear coat it, make it last. I did this like 2 years ago and it still looks perfect. Now I know some of you guys are gonna hate me for going with the E63 updated everything, and some of you guys are gonna love it. But I really do like the facelifted look of the 211 chassis a lot, so I'm going for it. The Escalade ESV is a total beast, and if you guys are ever gonna get one of these full-size GM trucks, just get the long wheelbase version. They all get the same fuel economy, and you can actually fit stuff in the back. So we do have the hood in there, the rockers, the bumpers. I fit the fenders over here on the side, and the baby seats are still in here, so I don't have to put them in the nasty garage. And of course, when I pick everything up freshly painted from Mancuso, I will be much more careful. I had to drive the wagon to the Forest Preserve for some sweet pictures. And speaking of pictures, follow me on Instagram at LegitStreetCars. I'm on Facebook at LegitStreetCars as well. I'm basically everywhere at LegitStreetCars. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget, hit the thumbs up button, share the video, subscribe if you're new, hit that post notification bell thingy somewhere over here. It's really easy to do, and that'll make sure that you never miss a video. Have a great day, guys. I'll catch all of you in the next one.